All right, welcome back to Luke's Motor Shop. The next step on this XJ750 to get it ready for spring is to replace the fork seals here and change the fork oil. So basically it's just disassemble the whole front end. Fender, brake caliper, all the jam nuts, everything. Just take the whole and slide the forks out. And then down here, there's a bolt in the bottom of the fork here. And that's connected to a nut on the inside, and that's what kind of holds this whole thing together. So I'm gonna try a trick that I haven't tried before with a spark plug socket, where you basically slide this in the opposite direction like this, and then connect a bunch of extensions to it to come out the top of the fork, and then you can remove that nut thing that's in the bottom to actually disassemble the forks. Never tried it before, so I'm gonna try that out. Otherwise, there's a few other tricks that you can do without buying that special tool to get it done. So I'm gonna get into it. First thing, I'm just gonna strap the back of the bike down to hold the front of the bike up. So I'm gonna get started with just disassembling the whole front end and getting the forks out. Shouldn't take too long. All right, I'm gonna get into it. All right, so I got the wheel off, so I'll be able to take that, get a new tire on the front. And then, I'm just trying to stay organized over here, keep, that being the front of the bike, front of the fender, and then just keep all of the little bits in order from one side to the other to make sure that I don't screw it up when I'm putting it back on there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start sliding out the forks here. I'll probably take one out at a time and do each one and put it back in. That way I keep a record of what's going on, and then everything kind of stays in place also. All right, so the trick with the spark plug socket, down inside of there, like a nut. Yeah, you can kind of see it in there. It is 19 millimeter head that's down there. Now this is 3/4, which is basically the same thing as 19 mil. So the idea is use a bunch of extensions and put the socket backwards here. Get this down inside of there, and you can feel it lock in to the piece down there. And then use an Allen from the bottom. Hang on. So get the bolt out of the bottom there. Should come right out. Now look at that. So that's the bottom where that Allen bolt went into. I'm not gonna remove it because I don't really need to. Oh, there we go. So now this guy. So that's where the Allen bolt was in the bottom. And the nut for here, actually, that's what this guy was sitting in from the top. So then when I go to tighten it back up again, I'll be able to use the same thing. So I've got this this seal removal tool, but I mean, you can really use a chisel or a screwdriver as long as you're careful. And the idea, oh, sent that guy flying. Important thing that I forgot about here, there's a retainer clip you got to pop out. You can see it right there. Almost screwed that up, so use something like this. There he is. Almost forgot to take this guy out. Pull the seal. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's the old ones here. Yeah, they're pretty cracked up, a little bit beat up and everything. And then here's the new ones. So this goes in first, and this guy just caps it off there going on second. So I'm just gonna clean all this out. Clean the tube, make sure there's none of that residual oil left in there, no debris. And then I'll press this one in and then cap it off with that one. All right, so that's the replacement of the fork seals. So now I'm just gonna work my way backwards, get the spring in, get all of the other items that came out of it. I'm going to replace the O-ring at the top here and make sure there's no corrosion up there, just so the top has a good seal. And then I'll reassemble this whole thing, get that back on the bike, get the other one out, same steps. And then once I have some new tires, I'll be able to put the front wheel back on there. All right, so I got the forks back on here. So now clean them all up. Just gonna give it a quick coat of paint, freshen it up a little bit, and then once I get a new tire installed on the rim, throw the wheel back on, replace the brakes. Even though these pads are still in pretty good shape, I'm still just gonna replace them. And then front end will be done. So quickly tape this up and get them painted. So the forks are looking pretty fresh again here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna clean up the brake calipers, probably give them a coat of paint also. Get the new brake pads in there, these guys. And then, you know, reassemble the front end, reassemble the fender, the brake pads, so that way when I have the new tire on the wheel, I can just slide it right in there. And then I'm gonna take this back tire off. I already kind of got started on it, pulled the axle out and disconnected the brakes. But I'm not sure how to actually get the tire off, or the wheel off, with the shaft drive here. So I'll get that off today also, so that I can, you know, get some new tires for this bike. So right now, get started on the brake calipers and just reassembling the front end. So I took a closer look at the brake pads here, and they're actually in great shape. They're almost new, so I'm not gonna bother replacing them. I'm gonna return the ones that I bought. And I also just gave the bracket a quick paint there. So I'm gonna reassemble this side here and then take the other side apart just so I don't screw up how everything goes together. All right, so I got the two wheels ready to go and get some new tires, and you know, finished reassembling the front end here. So I got the fender on, got the brake calipers on. Everything's a little bit loose until I get the wheel back. Rear wheels off. I'm gonna drain the rear end and throw some new fluid in it, but I'll do that eventually. For now, that's it. I'm gonna call it for this episode here. In the next episode, I'm gonna be taking care of building the custom exhaust here using, you know, the header pipes and these exhaust pipes that I found up in the attic there. I mean, this bike is looking a little bit more taken apart than it is together right now, but that's okay. You know what I mean? It's all gonna come together at the end. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.